Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to install Ubuntu Desktop to a virtual machine. So you click on the Start menu, you go to All Programs, find CTE Software, and then in CTE Software you find Oracle VM VirtualBox. Go ahead and open up VirtualBox. So this software allows you to basically create a computer within a computer, or a virtual machine. So we're going to be creating a virtual computer inside of our computer. And on this computer we're going to be installing an operating system called Ubuntu Desktop. Ubuntu Desktop is an operating system that is it's a version of Linux. There's many different types of distributions of Linux. Ubuntu Desktop is just one of them. We're going to be actually in this class using Ubuntu Desktop and Ubuntu Server. I'm going to click on New. We're going to type in Ubuntu Desktop. We want to change the version to Ubuntu 32-bit. Next. I want to give this a decent amount of RAM, so I'm going to type in 3072 or 3 gigs. Next. Create, next, next, create. Then I'm going to double click on the virtual machine. So this is going to launch my virtual machine, and the first thing that it's going to do, it's going to say select a startup disk. So you have to think of this as a computer that has nothing installed on it, not even an operating system. So what we need to do is we need to insert the DVD that contains the installation files for our operating system. Well, because this is a virtual computer, we don't have like a actual physical CD or DVD. But what we do have is a virtual DVD. In order to access that, you click on the folder with the little up thing. We need to go to the computer. So you guys probably just have to come up here and click on computer. You go to the share drive, main west, students, AAT, find Linux, and then find Ubuntu Desktop right there. Click on open and then hit start. Whoops, looks like mine minimized right there. So again, Ubuntu Desktop is an operating system that that is part of Linux. So there's a lot of different operating systems that use Linux. Ubuntu Desktop is one of them. Android's one of them. Chrome OS is one of them. But the core is Linux, and then we're just going to have this desktop interface on top. What's nice about Ubuntu Desktop is it is a GUI interface, or graphical user interface, which means we can use our mouse and kind of click around and stuff. So I'm going to open this up, and before I move on, I'm actually going to go to Machine, Settings, and I need to change my network from NAT to Bridge. This is going to allow me to download updates during the installation process. So network, bridged adapter, click OK. Now we might notice it might pause for a second here. Just give it a second. And then as soon as you have those two up arrows again, that means we're good. We can click on Install Ubuntu. So I'm going to click on Install Ubuntu. It says we're connected to the internet. Perfect, perfect. I'm going to check both of these boxes, and then I'm going to hit Continue. This will allow us to download updates and install third-party software while the entire installation is going on. I want to erase the disk, so I'm going to click on Install Now, and basically this is saying, hey, we're going to wipe this entire hard drive clean. Are you sure you want to do that? Well, this is a virtual hard drive. It's a virtual computer that we just created. There's nothing on it, so that's fine. It's okay to completely wipe it away. We are in Chicago, so I'll click Continue. And this is the keyboard, so I will click Continue one more time. Then it asks for my name, so I'll go ahead and type in my name. The computer name that I'm going to give this, G Reichelt. I'm going to pick a username. Please pick a username and password that you can remember. if you pick something and then you forget it, there's nothing that I can do for you. The only thing that you're going to be able to do is you're going to have to reinstall, which isn't going to be good. So make sure that you choose a username and password that you're going to be able to remember. Let's click login automatically too, so we don't have to worry about typing that in every time we boot up the system. I'm going to click continue. Alright, so it looks like the installation is going pretty smoothly right now. I'm actually going to pause this video and then I'll come back as soon as the installation has finished to show you what to do next. So I'm going to resume the video right here. So as you can see, like, I'm right in the middle of the installation. What I want to do is I want to show you how to pause the installation in case you need to stop what you're doing, and so you can pick up installing right back where you left off. So let's say the bell rings, you need to go to your next class, but you're right in the middle of installation. What should you do? And here's what you do. You click on the X that's right up there, the close, and then we want to make sure that the save machine state is checked, which it is. I'll click OK, and what's going to happen is everything about this machine is just going to be saved. So the entire position of the installation, just everything that's happening is going to be saved here, and then it gets all nice and saved. And it's saved to our virtual box. You can see it's saved right there. Now you could close your computer, log out, shut down, whatever. When you come back the next day and you want to resume the installation process, all you need to do is double click, or you're going to need to open up Oracle VM VirtualBox, and then you'll double click on this virtual machine. It'll take a minute to load or so, but then it's going to resume right where you left off. So you can pause the installation right in the middle pretty easily just by following those steps. You'll see it's going to just continue. All right, again, I am going to pause my video, and as soon as the next prompt comes up, I will resume. Okay, so now that my operating system is finished, it says installation complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. So I hit the Restart Now button. And then it says, please remove installation media and close tray. So in order to remove the installation media, I go to CD, DVD devices, and I just click on host drive D, and that will switch it off. It'll remove the installation media. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit enter because that's what it said to do. So it said to hit enter once you've completed. And now I'm going to boot up into Ubuntu desktop for the very first time. Now the installation we're not finished with the installation yet. We still need to do two more things. But before we can do those things, we need to wait for Ubuntu Desktop to load up. So again, this is a virtual machine. It's like a computer within a computer. And on this virtual computer, we have installed Ubuntu Desktop, which is a distribution of Linux. So we basically have Linux now running on our Windows machine, which is pretty cool. Alright, so it looks like we have this. It's all up and running. This is kind of what it looks like. But this is really small. This window, it's kind of hard to work with. So I'm going to actually go to Devices, and then I'm going to click on this thing right there that says Insert Guest Editions. So Guest Editions is going to allow this virtual machine to take the full screen, and it'll run a little bit faster and stuff like that. Right over here, it does say run, so we want to click on the run button. Now we're going to be prompted to type in our administrative password. It's the password that you created when you installed this virtual machine. And then I click on authorize right there. Just give it a second. Now notice right now how small this little window is, and it's kind of hard to move around. As soon as Guest Editions has finished installing, then this whole thing is going to be a lot easier to work in and with. Looks like it's almost done now. Just kind of leave your computer alone, let it be. Don't surf the internet, don't check other things. During the installation process, you're using a lot of system resources, and if you do something else while this is going on, something bad could happen. Okay, so now it says press return to close. Well, now that I have guest editions installed, I want to shut down my virtual machine. So I'm going to click right there on the gear, and I'm going to click on shutdown, and then click shutdown. The last thing that we need to do during the installation process is create a snapshot. So a snapshot will allow us to go back in time to this point, so that if something happens to your virtual machine, you can always come back to this point, and all of the things that you've done after this won't be saved, which if you screw up your computer after this point, rather than having to reinstall the entire operating system, all you have to do is restore this snapshot. So in order to create a snapshot, we just click on that little button right there, and we can call it like right after installation. Click OK, and we are done. Okay, so that is how to install Ubuntu Desktop to a virtual machine. Hopefully you found it helpful. Thanks for watching.